bit of geography and history today by talking about 5 of the other wizarding schools that exist in the world. If there are any others that you maybe want to find out about, or if there's anything about these that you find surprising or that you didn't know, make sure you write it in the comments below this video. We're going to jump right in and start with Batten in France. Notable alumni include Fleur Delacour. She competed in the Triwizard Tournament, which is what you might know her for, but she also battled in the Battle of Hogwarts against Voldemort and his Death Eaters. Other people who went to the school include Nicholas Flamel, the creator of the Philosopher's Stone, and his wife. They say that at Christmas time they have ice sculptures up and down the hall that don't melt for the whole season, and choirs of wood nymphs. Personally, I prefer ghosts and poltergeists, but to each their own. Next, we'll look at Derma Strang. It's located in Scandinavia. We don't know exactly where, they're pretty quiet about it, but we know that it's somewhere in Northern Europe. They accept international students from anywhere in the world. However, we know that that goes as far as Bulgaria, but likely not any further than that. They are known especially for teaching the dark arts, which most other schools don't do, because the dark arts are bad. This means that a lot of the students, and indeed their former head teacher, turned out to be Death Eaters, which was a little bit of a stain on their record, as you might imagine. They don't accept Muggle-born students, and other notorious criminals, including Grindelwald, were taught there. It's not really a great way to look, but I suppose we all have our crooks to bear. Next, we'll be looking at Ilvermorny in the United States of America. Founded in the 17th century, in the 1600s, by a witch and her Muggle husband to teach their 2 children, it eventually evolved into a massive castle. At Ilvermorny, much like in Hogwarts, they have 4 houses. These include Horned Serpent, who are best known for their scholars, Wampus, who are known for their warriors, Thunderbird for their adventurers, and Puckwudgie for their healers. Whenever they are going and getting sorted into their houses, unlike at Hogwarts, there are sculptures, and each sculpture will react to a student in a certain way. If a sculpture reacts more than one, then the student gets to pick which house they want to join. Seems a little bit less effective than here, but it seems to work well enough for them. Next, we'll be looking at schools that you might not have heard of. These are further afield. First, we'll be looking at Wagodu, which is the largest of all the wizarding schools, and it accepts students from all over Africa. At least 1,000 years old, which makes it, again, one of the older ones, around about the same age as Hogwarts. Students there are best known for their astronomy, alchemy, and self-transfiguration. They normally use magic through hand gestures as opposed to using wands, which is an interesting practice because it means that if they are ever convicted of using their magic in front of muggles, they just say, "Oops, moved my hand wrong." Seems like an interesting defence, and I don't know that it would hold up in many places, but seems to work for them. And finally, we'll be talking about Mahatokuro, which is located in Japan. It is the oldest of all the wizarding schools and is described as ancient. It's well over 1,000 years old. A few hundred years ago, they were introduced to Quidditch by a group of misguided Hogwarts students who, on absolutely terrible brooms, decided to go for a little jolly ride and ended up in Japan. Don't quite know how that happened. Yes, they forgot to turn left over France. They taught the students at Mahatokuro how to play Quidditch, an action that they quickly regretted when Japan then won the Quidditch World Cup the next year. They are known best for their academic prowess in multiple subjects and how good they are at Quidditch, although that is often said that it's because they have a very brutal teaching style that doesn't really allow for much failure. Students are taken on from age 7, however at that point they can't board at the school, they're just kind of taught, but that does make them 4 years younger than students who start at Hogwarts. Those students are not allowed to board until age 11. That brings us to the end of those schools. As I said, tell us anything you found surprising or anything you found out about the other 6 schools in the comments below. We hope to hear from you. Goodbye.